Hi everyone, and welcome to Bite Club with Bay. I am Bay, and this is Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hi, babe.
And today we're talking about the Vampire Academy movie. So last time we discussed the TV show a couple of years ago. It was like 3 years ago. I looked. Is when we did the
Yeah, because
books.
I was here.
I finished. Oh, this is funny. I finished the second book today. And Noah was taking a shower, and I was just sitting in my spot on the couch, staring blankly at the wall with carbide in my lap, crying, just sobbing softly because I was listening to it. And
this is when Mason.
Yeah, and Noah just walks out and he's like,
"Are you okay?"
The fuck? Because he just starts talking to me, and then he just sees me like.
Sobbing.
Like, what on earth are you doing?
I will say the narrator, she did that like the Rose breaking down over Mason scene good. I haven't listened to it in I think 3 years.
But I don't like the narrator that much. Like, doesn't the narrator?
No, I know, but there was the pain. There was the pain in there though.
Yeah, but doesn't the narrator change a couple times?
Yeah, either the third book or the fourth book, and then after that it's the same narrator.
Okay.
I can't remember. When Adrian starts getting voiced like an Australian.
Right.
You know you're with that forever narrator.
Yeah, because I noticed that. Because right now, Dimitri's not Russian. He's just got generic, deep Aiden voice. And Mia is Maya. So...
I don't know if it ever goes back to being Mia. I think it stays Maya, which is annoying.
It's whatever.
It is. Oh, I'm just looking up her name. So I'm just looking up Bloodlines because better. Emily Schaefer.
Okay.
So when you get to narrated by Emily Schaefer, you good fan.
It's really not that the narrator does a bad job. It's just that listening to Dimitri just have generic boy voice is weird. Like,
I know. That said, though, what would you prefer?
A bad Russian accent or generic boy voice? You know, yeah. I do kind of admire the choice of just like, I'm not going to do it and just generic boy voice. I do admire it. I do. I admire it. Okay. But
because, like, for example, if I was narrating, for example, I would have to do that. I do, and I do love, but I do love that Emily Schaefer just is like, I'm gonna make the royals all sound fancy. I know what'll work for that. Australian accents.
Yeah. So the movie, though, I'm sorry.
The movie.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay.
So now this was my first time watching it.
But it was my second.
But the movie came out, okay, I guess a brief background. The movie came out in like 2014. So like 7 years after the first book came out, and also like more into the vampire craze.
And you can tell with how Christian is portrayed, because they're just like, you know what? Be Edward. Be Edward. Be Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, definitely that. And you told me, I think, that I would recognize it as Vampire Academy, and I did. I definitely, like, I was like, okay, yep, this is Vampire Academy.
Yeah. And I will say Zoe, who plays Rose, like the sassiness of Rose, the quippiness, it was all there.
Zoe it was there, but like
it was so cheesy. It was cheesy.
It was cheesy. And if we're talking about casting, like, I mean, I get like
Zoe didn't. That Rose was written to just be a sarcastic, smartass response to everything, and Zoe didn't sound stilted when she did it.
No. Oh, okay. Sorry, I have to get this out. God, okay, you can really tell. Oh my God, it's so bad. I'm sorry.
We're both of us. Neither of us have had our medication. It's gonna be a mess.
It's gonna be a mess. Okay. The scenes in the movie were so fast. So many of them are 2 seconds long, aren't they?
I think it's I know, but it was an hour and 44 minutes.
I know.
The movie's an hour and 44.
I know.
So,
this was.
I know why they did it.
This was before movies had to be 3 hours long, because now you can't find a movie that's less than 3 hours long.
But can you imagine if this movie was 3 hours long?
It shouldn't have been. But it was just funny that like every scene was just. I hate to be treated like pretty eyes. Goodbye, like.
But like, okay, so I am when we talked about the books, when we talked about the series, I said both times the movie was fucking atrocious. And I stand by my original feeling of that.
It was atrocious.
However,
it was.
I thoroughly enjoyed it this time, and I don't know how much of it is I have more nostalgia towards the series now. If the TV series just completely raped the concept of Vampire Academy to the extent that this is just so much better by comparison.
You know, here's the thing.
I don't know what it is.
The movie was okay, so we're not going to go over characters. We've done that a bunch of times. You can watch any of the other streams we've done, and we've gone over characters. It's fine. Okay. The movie was atrocious. It was bad. However, it was less than 2 hours of my life, for one thing.
I enjoyed it.
It didn't have time to suck my soul from my body. Second, I think there was like an honest attempt to adapt the source material.
Like I said, but the execution wasn't great, but
again, maybe like lack of budget. And I actually think that a TV show was the forum to do it, because a lot of like the stuff in a lot of the content is kind of low stakes in like the middle of the book, and that is better for a TV show because it's a lot more like personal narrative.
Well, that's why they added a few more Strigoi attacks throughout the movie and stuff like that.
Right, because that's like the first book, the threat really isn't Strigoi at all.
It's who's leaving dead animals in Lys's bed. If it had been written as a thriller, then they wouldn't have had to add anything else.
No, but it really wasn't.
But it wouldn't be Vampire
Academy. But it was. I think it did lend itself better to a TV show. They just didn't get the green light for a TV show. They had a movie. Dimitri, sorry, my brain's all over the place. Dimitri, vibe-wise, not better.
No, but okay.
But kind of better in a weird. I don't know why it's better.
Him, and I can't remember his name, but Rose and Dimitri in this one, you can see you can see their relationship developing, even in little snippets. You can see it happening. And she's been a smartass, and one of my favorite scenes from the book is in this movie, and I'd forgotten about it.
Which one is it?
I saw it in the movie, and it's the one where, like, you know, they finish practicing, and he's like got his
back and
she's like, I'm gonna get him, and she like charges at him, but she's battle crying, and he's like, no. And she's like, how? And she's like, well, the battle cry kind of gave you away.
Well, and this was the thing too. They ripped a lot of dialogue from the book, which I know because I had just read the book. And actually, I was watching the movie on the TV while Noah was like right there, and he just every other line he was like, "What the fuck are you watching?" And I was like, "Read your Bigfoot book. Go away. You know, like leave me alone." I was like, I promise the quality of the writing of what I am watching is not better than the quality of the writing of what you're reading. Go away. But also the choreography was not good. Fighting choreography. But it was better than the show.
Except for the execute. Okay. There was when they're battling, like Dimitri breaks into Victor's office thing, and then like he's fighting Spiridon or whatever, and he throws a punch, and they don't cut it quick enough so you can actually see the punch going like that.
I didn't notice that.
I mean, it's from like, so you can see Dimitri's face. So like say that this is Spiridon's face. Instead of it going like that and making contact, you can see it just go like, whew. I'm tired. I've watched it like 3 times. I'm like, is that what? I'm like, yep. But look, Dimitri, I'm still not happy with the casting of Dimitri. However, this one actually did look a little bit more like Dimitri. He looked more like Dimitri.
Also, he felt taller. But,
that helped. Yes, he did. Especially there was one camera angle. It was the end where they actually had the camera like sitting like there looking up.
Yeah,
like that's a bit much. But there were times though, because like he looked visibly older than her, right? But also she just looked really young. She's like got one of those faces where she's just like perpetual baby face. But there are times when his face, obviously not his body, he looks like Jack Black without a beard.
I also noticed that. Like, okay, yeah, I noticed that too. But
the Comrade and Rosa thing was a lot more natural in this.
It was, and they also didn't sugarcoat the age gap thing. They were just like,
and you know what though?
They were just like, this is happening.
But it didn't feel creepy. And I don't know how much of that is me having the series deeply in my heart. I don't know. But when the two of them kissed, because he does look older than her, I didn't feel ick.
Well, that's okay. First of all, the first kiss they ever have is under a compulsion spell put on a necklace.
I love it. I loved him burning a dress. He's just like, let's burn this. I'd be pissed. That dress is like $600 or something.
I know. But the first time they kiss in this and in the books is because of compulsion. So, and also throughout the first book, he doesn't do anything. I don't think he ever does anything until the very end of the second book.
Like they have
I think I'm right about that.
Oh, them doing a thing. I can't remember when. Well, you just read the second book, so I'm assuming
I just read the second book. So
I'm assuming he does.
If I didn't like yeet anything out of my brain, but the first time he initiates something is the very end of the second book.
Yeah, and then the third book, they're back to awkward. Like it's now a lot more unspoken. It's now more loudly unspoken. What's happening between the two of them, and then that's when Tasha Ozera comes in and Rose and him have a fight, and then Rose goes crazy. She tries to kill everyone. Dimitri takes it to the little cabin, and that's when they.
Mm-hmm.
And then Strigoi attack. So, and then, but it's I can't remember though when they get to the cabin. I can't remember if she kisses him or he kisses her, but then they're just like, fuck it, let's just be a thing. And then it all goes to hell. But
yeah,
he is very responsible because he's like, I'm 25, she's 17. I'm 25, she's 17.
Yeah.
Plus also Lissa. Plus also everything else.
Yeah. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that in 2007 or whatever, like Richelle Mead should have known better. I'm not commentating on that.
It's also, you also get a lot more leeway with age gaps, I feel like, in series involving vampires, for starters. Because, to be fair, this is one of the smaller vampire age gap or vampire adjacent love gaps.
Yeah, no, that's true. Small. And then that is true.
7 years.
That's true. And I mean, though, I guess there is there's some, there may be some room to debate though. Like, what's worse, an age gap that a 17-year-old could actually replicate, or an age gap that nobody could ever replicate? So, like, for example, you can't boink a 500-year-old. They are all dead.
However,
you know what I mean? I don't know.
However, the context cannot be replicated because they are trained to be soldiers. And Rose has already, done...
But he's a teacher, I guess.
No, he's her mentor. He's not actually a teacher.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess there's, some room for debate, but then you could also just argue that, any older guy is just coded to be, in his 20s. Any 500-year-old vampire is just coded to be 20-something.
Yeah, and look, when it comes to generally larger age gaps, for example, I think the general rule, like I'm talking in real life, general rule is no. Bad puppy, no. And then there are the rare exceptions. I feel like 17 is too young to be choosing that exception. In real life.
No, for sure.
Like when my daughter's 17, if she comes home with a 25-year-old boyfriend, I don't care how nice he is.
I can just if I had been 17, also no. Like,
but like for example, I will give a real life example of an age gap where the younger person isn't too much older than Rose, especially because Rose is almost 18 throughout, like especially once, like she's like what, a couple weeks shy of 18 when they actually finally get together. But a real life example of a much larger age gap, Emily D. Baker. She was 19 and her husband was 30 when they started dating. And they are the exception to the large age gap rule. And their birthdays are, I think, like what, within like a few days of each other. So they're almost to the day 11 years apart.
I didn't know about that at all.
Yeah. The night they met, they were flirting, whatever. And then, because they told this story, and then they went out and got, they went to like one of the 24-hour chain diner places. I can't remember what. Worked out that, and then she looked at his ID to confirm his birthday because they was saying when their birthdays were, and saw his year of birth was 11 years prior to hers. And watch, they've been together for what? She's like in her 40s now.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, large age gaps aren't inherently. Look, as a general rule, no. General rule, no. There are some exceptions where it's not creepy though, but you have to take those exceptions with a lot of caution.
I mean, yeah, like also these are fake people. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, these are fake people. These are fake people too.
I don't have to just, I don't know.
And honestly, again, like I do think that my daughter will likely, and if you ever have girls, they will also likely end up reading at least one book that they love or series that they love with an inappropriate age gap. And it's your job as a parent if they start being like, oh, I have a thing for a guy 7 years older than me, and they're like 17, etc. It's our job as parents to be like no.
I mean,
bad child, creepy.
I mean, the age gap that I'm writing in the book I'm writing is like 20-something years, and that's tame for urban fantasy.
Yeah. It's and like a weird, and then there's the weird, in some ways visually reversed, but in actuality not reversed, age gap between Mercy and Adam.
Yeah.
Because what, he's like was born in the 50s. So he's what, like 80 years, 50. That's fun. He's like what, 50 or 60 years older than her or whatever the hell it is. I can't remember what. I can't math right now, right? My brain's broken.
I can't either.
But he looks 25.
Well, if he was born in the 50s, here's the thing. The first book came out in 2006. We're going to say that the year it starts is 2006. So he's like 50-something because he's a 50s model. So he's 50. Fuck it. And
okay. So he's 20 years older than her. He's
20-ish years older than her.
Okay. And then, because she's 30 or 31 or something at the beginning of the series. But he looks 25 and half the time a slightly young version of 25.
Yeah.
She's in her 30s and she's just getting older as the series goes on. So visually, she looks like...
Although we actually don't know if she's aging a whole lot. Like, we actually don't really get a sense for how old she looks.
She has said there are like references to her looking her age.
Yeah, but we don't know if like she's gonna continue to age, I guess, because like there have been hints that she might not. I don't fucking know. Like,
yeah, she doesn't know. He does.
Hattie's being cagey about it.
All she knows is that her brother is
older than her.
He's like older than Adam.
Yes.
Like he was like adult in the early 20th century. So
also in my brain, Adam looks like 40 something.
My brain makes Adam look older than he is too, because honestly, it's kind of hard to imagine someone like Adam looking mid-20s.
Yeah, like I just
like I can't picture Adam looking the same age as you.
I can't either. I'm like, no, he doesn't.
and I'm not gonna lie, because half the time as well, depending on Brand's demeanor and everything, like sometimes he looks 18. I don't care how well she describes him looking like baby faced, like teenager. I can't picture him looking like that.
Yeah, no, me either. I can't do it either.
I don't quite know how I picture Bran. I just know
Charles, I can imagine looking to like 25-ish. For some reason, Charles is fine.
I think part of it is...
Although that might be because we actually get his face on cover art.
Well, not just that, but I think also his, like, Native American features often kind of have a timelessness to them.
That's true, especially, like, yeah.
Like, same, and I think it might be part of the, where did they originally... Was it Mongolia or whatever that they originally... I don't know. All I know is like, East Asia.
East Asia. I mean, it depends.
And that kind of...
I don't know what happens. Research is, honestly.
Yeah. And that kind of happens in that general region, though, as well. Like there was a... Rory's best friend in Gilmore Girls. She was played by, like... The actress was in her 30s playing a teenager.
I wasn't a Gilmore Girls person. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But like she looks like she's 16, and I think she was like 28 or 29 when the first season happened.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Wait, what are we talking about?
How did we age gaps?
I don't know.
Age gaps. Okay, back to Rose and Dimitri and their age gap. It didn't feel creepy. The only thing that felt creepy about it was that sometimes he looked like Jack Black, and the chick who plays Rose is like she's a stunner. She's gorgeous. So that was the main thing. Also, his head. He had such a big head. His head.
Well, sorry, real quick. The other little issue with it being a movie and is it almost exemplifies or almost like exaggerates how little they interact on screen in the first book, because in the first book there really isn't a ton of Rose and Dimitri. If you take out, which they did in the movie, if you take out how many times something happens to Lissa and Rose goes, shit, gotta go grab Dimitri.
Yeah.
And when you take out a lot of that interiority, you lose a lot of the progression of their relationship. Yeah. And that did happen here. And that was going to happen without a longer form.
Yeah. One thing that the movie didn't show a lot of, but you still know and believe happened, that was meant to be in the show, but you didn't buy it in the show. How often they were training together. You bought that they were training together every day in the movie, because we did see some scenes of it.
Yeah. And
you would see them casually meet up, without planning, so you knew that this is their regular time. And you sit, and then there was some of the inside joke bits, before they went to so there was the charging thing, and then when they went to go to the mall, she tried again, but then you see him crack a smile when he does it that time, and so you're like, okay, like they're starting to. And then at the end, when she tricks him, she's like, just kiss me one more time. And he's like, okay, just like, no. Also, I don't care how strong a dampier is. I do not buy that she managed to like grab his arm and flip him.
No, I don't either.
In no reality.
Also, again, I will remind you, I know that like Rose is a strong female and whatever. I don't care. I'll remind you, Rose in the books, like it just never happens. They're never on equal footing. I'm sorry. They're not.
And like the only, like even I do buy that she was able to get him off guard. Like if she'd swept his legs out, I would have bought that.
Well,
because he was
I
off
will
guard.
say this too.
It was a very vulnerable moment, so he was off guard, but not pick him up by his arm and flip him.
I will say this too. The actress, has like, you know, Rose's shoulders, like in the books, are described like as like broader and stuff like that than the actress in like the movie and stuff. Honestly, more like her body type in the book is described more like the actress in the show, I would say. Like a lot more athletic.
She's described as, but also curvy.
Yeah, but like you get the sense that she's like she's like stockier and like more substantial, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
In the books. And same thing like with her mom.
Yeah, I think I think a big part of it is because the Moroi are very much like is it a rectangle?
Well, she describes them like she just in the first book she compares them to like runway models.
Yeah, your stereotypical runway model. Whereas Dampies often have the actual. They have body shapes of different varieties, and varying heights and everything because they're half human. So you do get a lot more variation, and then I imagine the ones that just due to I guess natural selection, for want of a better term, the ones that are more athletic and physically capable would be the ones that would end up
you just get the idea. Yeah, you just get the idea that in the books that Rose has more of an athletic build is all.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely true because and that makes sense because she is athletic.
So like, and probably like if you were casting to that, you might like maybe she would have looked like she could have thrown Dimitri, or something, you know.
Yeah. So okay, I want to see how high this actor is. So Danila. The guy who plays Dimitri, I'm looking up his.
You want to see how tall he is?
Oh, he looks so much better in literally anything other than just.
Wait, what's his name?
I'm side chatting
or share.
Just. Oh, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do that. But he's actually Russian, so like that, which makes sense because that accent didn't sound stupid. So. Like, he looks so much better there than as Dimitri.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. Like, that's what we were looking at for half the movie, and he's meant to be the heartthrob, and I don't get it. But I would have gotten, like, I would have gotten any of these ones. I just don't get.
Maybe it's the wig they had him in. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because, like, that's clearly not his hairline. I have no idea.
That is not a flattering face for him.
Also, I have to say, they were not in Montana. That was not Montana. I'm sorry. Like...
You know what? It was more Montana than whatever the fuck European shit
I'm just saying it wasn't Montana.
Was he in Vikings? Okay. I'm looking up his height. Okay, he's 5'11".
They made him look taller than that.
Oh wait, no. 1.84, so that's 2. Oh, sorry, 6. What? That's 6 feet. That's 6 feet. Yeah. So he still should have been a bit taller, but they managed to do well enough with what they had. Maybe it was the week. Oh, that was one thing that made me laugh. Right? So when the scene where Rose is like, I'm gonna have to cut my hair, you know, when she gets her Monet marks.
Yeah.
She's like, because Dampies is supposed to display their Monet marks the whole time, like all the time. Meanwhile, because he doesn't have Dimitri's trademark ponytail at all in the entire movie, because Dimitri has a pony. So his hair is covering his Molnea marks while they're having the conversation about how a Dampy's hair should not cover their Molnea marks. Like, when the camera is on her face, it's poking out from behind his head, and you can see the back of his head and his neck. Actually, except you can't see his neck because his hair is covering it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I don't know. Maybe he's also just one of those guys that just gets substantially more attractive as he gets older. Because I don't know how old he was in that, but some of those photos
it would be 7 years younger than he is now.
I know, and I guess the last 7 years have been good to him. I don't know. Maybe it's the facial hair. Maybe he got a tan. I don't know what it is, but he looks so much better now.
Can we talk about Mia? Because
God,
Mia was the worst part. I'm sorry,
I hated her
the worst or the best part. I don't know, but her lines were ridiculous. I what the fuck? Because they had to accelerate the teen drama, so it was like in your face. Hello, like what the fuck?
Yeah. And I will say with her though, like when they found like the hidden Andre folder, one, they forgot that there was a line earlier in the movie that she got a haircut while they were away, so she still had really short hair in those photos.
Yeah.
But two, like especially freaking nostalgia points, like Andre Forever written on a hand doing a little selfie. I'm just like, oh fucking MySpace days. Like they betrayed the time period's teen angst well in that photo. But I do think that had the movie not completely flopped and they had made sequels or whatever, because you know how she ends up obviously becoming a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I think the actress had it in her to do it. Like, it's that last scene where she's like breaking down at the dance.
She's doing her best.
Yeah, well, look, it's not the actress's fault.
Oh, but sorry. Speaking of not the actor or actress's fault, the meet cute between, for any future adaptations, if you guys ever attempt it again, Christian and Lissa's meet cute, the dialogue has been written for you. Okay, there's a book with the dialogue, and it's been written for you.
Yeah.
Help me, bae. Save me.
I can't. Because also, like, that's not the biggest issue in this movie, I will say that.
It's not, but like, they pulled so many other lines from the books.
I know. So you know they had it in them.
So you know that they knew, and I'm just like, why the fuck? I don't know. Maybe it's because they were like, well, we can't hang on if any scene lasts longer than 10 seconds, we have to kill ourselves. So maybe that's why.
Yeah. And okay, speaking of Christian as well, I stand by what I said, right? He looks so gross, and I think it's the hair. I
didn't like Christian.
But like the actor, he plays Jace in Shadowhunters.
Yeah.
And give me a second, because oh damn it.
And honestly, the actor that they had playing Christian in the show is more like what I mentally imagined for Christian.
Like in his presence and everything?
Yeah, because, like, well, also in the face. Because, like, in my brain, Christian's not hot because he's not a love interest. I know that sounds dumb. But, like, in my brain, in books, unless...
but he's meant to be. He's meant to still be attractive, though.
I know that. But, like, it's Lissa's love interest, so he's not hot. In my brain, he looks more like Graves. From, like, Strange Angels?
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. Which is so, like, doofy and, like, gangly and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna share screen again. Okay, window. Okay. So this is Dominic Sherwood in Vampire Academy. Can you see it? So like, also I do like that he's got like the little eye freckle. Oh, what
heterochromia?
That's the one. Yeah, he has that on one of his eyes. But like there is nothing particularly attractive about him as Christian. And then we go to
I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, I'm like, it's the same guy. I don't know.
It's not. There's some that is like.
Is this like? Character. Is it different in like if you're actually watching the show?
Yeah, his presence is completely different. But you know,
because in stills, I'm just like,
the blonde hair
that's
looks
Christian.
so much better. The blonde hair looks so much better. I didn't realize it was the same actor for ages, right? And then I'm like, this guy looks familiar, and I can't work it out. Yeah, that one, that picture shows his half brown eye a lot better. But you know, he looks so much better as a blonde than with the black hair. I think also because they made them all pale, which they made them all extra pale as well for the movie, which makes sense because they were supposed to be. And it also makes sense because they're also never in the sun. They're never in the sun.
The portrayal of Natalie, I thought, was pretty on point, at least personality-wise.
Yeah, there was a bit more like where she was like, I want to lose my virginity, rah, 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 but everything else, and just a non-stop, like...
Yeah, everything else, I was, like, on point.
Especially, like, when they, like, she first came over and she's, like, filling them in on all the gossip, and it sounds like she's just saying one sentence, but then, like, they're in a completely different location, and you're like, no, they cut that. Obviously, they didn't, but, like, she's been just yammering while they're just walking across the entire thing, and I remember from the book that Natalie was just like a yummy, yummy, yummer.
Yeah.
They involved her character a lot more in the movie.
I don't know. Not really.
Yeah, because they made out like her and like Rose tolerated Natalie in the book. She was like, she's Liz's roommate. She's nice enough. She's weird, but I guess she's nice.
Whereas Rose starts to befriend her towards the end a little bit.
I know, but it was out of pity.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Whereas in the movie, it seemed like Rose.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like she actually seemed to be more of a friend versus Liz's roommate to whom she is friendly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I know why. It's to make the impact at the end a bit more.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I didn't notice any big changes. Like, I noticed some changes, but they seemed more for expediency's sake.
Yeah. That speech at the end. That speech at the end. Yeah. I am a spirit user, and I shall unite everyone. And hush now, Queen Tatiana. I'm speaking. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. But throughout the movie, I didn't really notice any changes that are like other than the ones that were just made because it's a movie and not a book. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like before, for example, in the book, Rose knows that Sonia Karp is a Strigoi before they leave. In the movie, they turn Rose finding out that she became Strigoi into like a bonding moment for her and Dimitri, which is like fine. Also, you find out with her. Something else I did good because we were talking about this. How come we can't just follow Rose around? How come we can't just we can just follow Rose around because that's all we did. And the only time we weren't following Rose around was when we were when we were watching what Lissa was doing through Rose's eyes. And also, and like, was it executed perfectly? Not really, but like it was something that they did, which is true to the books, where you had like some Rose color commentary, like some peanut gallery going on in the background as like Liz is doing something and she's like, oh, gross, we're flirting with Christian Ozera. Why? Or, you know, she's compelling everybody and she's like, Lissa, what the fuck, man? You know?
Yeah. And one thing, now, just on that note as well, difference is it's a movie versus a TV show, but I still am curious. Like one day, someone will try to do limited third person.
I'm just saying, like they did it and it worked fine for me.
Yes. I think another thing that worked really well in this was not really narration, the monologuing inner thoughts that were interjected over kids. Because that's how we get to exposition. If you don't want the characters to have to exposition,
there was some exposition, and here's the thing. Exposition's annoying. Here's the thing. That kind of exposition's easy in a book. Sorry, let me rewind real quick. Rebooting. Yes. Sorry. Okay. As far as writing advice from book club with Bay, there are two types of characters when we're writing books, right? One is characters who know the things, and the second type is the character who doesn't know the shit. So the character who doesn't, so Alice in Wonderland, goes into Wonderland. You can think of like Harry Potter's a great example. It's one everybody likes to use, and pretty much any character that's like, you're a wizard, come with me, and you shall see. Luke Skywalker, whatever, Obi-Wan Kenobi shows up. He's like, you're a wizard, Harry, and we continue. And how we get told the stuff is that somebody comes up to the main character and they're like, dragons are real, and here's what dragons do. And you go, whoa, and the character goes, whoa, and we all go, whoa, together. But when you have characters
we find out shit as Bella finds out her shit,
Yeah, but when you have a character that either grew up in a place or whatever, or just a character that already knows the shit, exposition is more complicated but easier to do in a book, because like in a book I can just give you a paragraph. I can just really quickly be like, that was Adam, Alpha of the Columbia Basin Pack. Ding! Werewolves do this. Like, ta-da!
Yeah, or like, going for a stroll down the street, random vampire appears. What was that? You say the vampires, you ask? Yes, well, in fact, vampires do exist. Here's a paragraph of a rundown of vampires. Back to our story. And then carry on again.
People tell you, here's the thing. People tell you not to info dump, which is, like, accurate to an extent. I will argue that when you have a character that knows all the shit, it is far more efficient and far less frustrating to just get the little, not like info dump forever, but snippets of info dumping out of the way.
Yep. And then again, that things that can be explained as the story
in
goes,
detail later, like that's fine. But it is much more efficient and much less frustrating to just tell us. That way we know what the main character knows, and we actually know how, because that also gives us an idea of how entrenched in the world they are. Also useful because it's useful for us to know, like, do they just kind of know that vampires exist, or do they know like the intricacies of vampire society?
And
like,
then
how much about vampires do we know?
And then I guess House of Night, that's kind of a good part way point between those two things. Because vampires are a thing. This is how people are marked, etc., etc. They go live at a school, and she's like, okay, blah, and then she gets marked, and she's like, oh shit. And then so we get some of the info dumping, and then we learn the rest along the way with her.
Right.
I don't like using them as but that it's
but it is
for almost
it's a
everything,
good example
right?
of that. It's a good example of that because we know how much she knows, and then we know that she needs to know more. Like, we know that she knows as much as an outsider knows. So anyway, back to the movie. I have a point. It did a good job of quickly being like, this is not an origin story. Here's all the shit you need to know. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And it was pretty efficient, honestly. Like, I was actually kind of impressed with how efficient the expositing was, because it didn't feel pointless. If you had like never read the books, you probably would have just gotten it, because it was like, there's the good vampires, there's the half vampires, there's the evil vampires, there's St. Vladimir's, we're guardians.
Yeah.
We heart Maroi. Yippity doo.
And I think as well, because it was Rose doing it, not just the actress reading it, but Rose doing it in her own character voice.
Mm-hmm.
It also helped you know and understand and like Rose more than if it had just been what we were watching on screen. Yeah. We got a quicker sense of her character because sometimes the expositing was a little snarky or sarcastic or cheeky or this or that or grossed out.
Yeah.
And yeah, it worked. Like there were a couple of times where, because I was like had been looking at something on my phone. I think it was when they were walking into like the feeder room for the first time, and Rose was saying something, and even now I can't remember. I think she was actually saying it out loud in the scene, but I wasn't sure if Rose was saying it or if voiceover Rose was saying it, because voiceover Rose is Rose still.
Yeah,
and it made it less like, oh god, here we go, more voiceover shit. Because sometimes when there is voiceovers, you're like, shut up, voiceover, shut up.
Yeah, I didn't find it annoying. I was like, if you were watching this and you actually cared,
I enjoyed the movie. If I had to watch this movie again, I was dreading this movie so much, babe.
I was too. But you know what? It wasn't an unenjoyable experience.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't good.
No, it wasn't. But it did give me like the warm and fuzzies. Honestly, it kind of did. I was kind of, because also like the school vibes were not that bad. Like I was like, if I were going to do like the set design or something, other than it not looking like Montana, I wouldn't really change anything. I don't know.
Where was Vampire?
There were way too many hills for it to be Montana, especially because they kept describing like highways and stuff. So I started looking up where in Montana it actually was.
Okay, Vampire Academy film. Where production? London. Principal photography commenced in London at Pinewood Studios. So I'm assuming a lot of like all the outdoor stuff as well would have been. Which I actually understand why they filmed in London. I do. For the building.
Probably, yeah.
Those kind, or well, not that all the exteriors and stuff probably weren't in London proper. But wait, the Academy exterior shots were at Charterhouse School in Surrey, and yes, I know exactly why, and I will say that is like the look of the school is not weird to me. Like, it's not necessarily how I exactly pictured St. Vlad's, but it's not
me either.
Different. It's not different to how I pictured St. Vlad's, though.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't clash with my brain.
Yeah, it looks like it could be the school they were talking about in the book. And I think that's why they probably chose England.
Probably, yeah.
And also, like the entire Moray cast effectively were British, so that also helped probably.
Yeah, I still think it's funny that they keep casting like British people.
Well, was Mia though? Was Mia British or was she American?
I don't know, but like
it might have just been the Royals, which
the Royals though keep being British, but I think it's funny.
Look, and I get it though as well, right? Because they're a class onto their own. Although, except Natalie wasn't. Natalie was American.
But they're raised.
But she's a much lower.
But they're raised like with regular Americans. I don't know. Like that's not how accents work.
I know. However, though, as well, especially the more upper class or higher level royals,
you think they just beat British into them?
Well, no, but like because of how incestuous they are and everything over
generations. Oh yeah, it's an inbred lisp.
I was more saying that the higher tier royals don't typically hang out with non-royal Moray. They don't hang out with their peers.
Oh, okay.
So if their parents have the accent,
I was saying bad things.
Their friend group have the accent.
I was saying bad things about the British.
Don't be rude. That's my head of state. You how dare you?
You are an independent country.
With a head of state that is a king. It's so weird that I have a king now. I'm going to get new money next year. We're going to get new coins. I think it's
fun.
Next year.
Save the ones you got. They're about to be valuable.
Like what? Like 70... Wait, when did we get the dollar?
I still have Australian
I think it's
money.
like 50. Yeah, I think like 50 years worth of coins, like because they're still legal tender and everything, and they'll continue to be.
Yeah.
So 50 years worth of coins. I don't think it's gonna go rare.
That's probably true.
It's gonna. I think by the time he dies, there will still be more coins in circulation with her face on it than his.
Unless they just like yeet them from existence or something.
Yeah, true.
Are they gonna like? Are they trying to like mass purge them or?
No. It's just current money will continue to be current money, and then the notes, because the $5 notes, I think, have her face on it. Mm-hmm. So those ones, obviously, then his face will come on the notes as well, and I think it's more or less once they'll just replace the notes as per usual when needed.
Yeah, I just still have cash from my visit.
What do you have?
I think like. Oh my
God. Did you have any of the notes that have like the clear strip down the middle?
I think
when you came, maybe only the 5s had them.
I think so. Yeah.
They released the 5s and then the 10s and then the 20s and the 50s.
Give me 1 second. Sorry. Because now I don't know. I'll find out.
Just looking to see.
Next time we do this, we need to make sure we have drugs.
Or at least one of us. If one of us can keep on track, then it's a lot easier, right?
I know. This is it's bad. Okay, I have a 5.
Shimmy. Do you have an old 5 or a new 5?
This is the 5 I have.
Okay, new one. Yeah, so now all of our notes have that clear bit down. And then it's got Braille in the top corner.
Yes.
Is your money still paper or is it plastic now? Because
I mean it's linen.
It's linen.
Our money's made out of cotton. You didn't know that?
But why?
I don't know. I mean, at least it's not plastic, and we're not. At least we're not killing sea turtles.
Hey, babe, guess what?
Hmm.
Okay, so there was a period when your money was literally just paper, right? Like pieces of paper. I've got American notes from like when my uncle went to the US in the 90s, and you can just rip them in half.
Well, yeah, you can.
Because they're paper.
You can rip it in half, but I think it's always been made out of cotton.
Okay, well, them. Have fun trying to rip that. Have fun accidentally tearing your money here. Have fun ruining your money by chucking it in the wash by accident, etc., etc., etc.
Okay, yeah. U.S. currency is made up of 75% cotton and 25% linen.
Why is your money clothes?
I don't know. But Carbine
is it illegal? Is it illegal to make a purse out of U.S. notes?
Probably. Carbine did eat into and half a $100 bill.
See, he'd have a hard time doing that with the plastic.
He would not, I assure you.
Give him one.
He would chew one of these in half. We give him bottles all the
time.
I know,
but that paper, but the note is more flexible. Like he needs to actually get purchased to get his teeth through it.
He could do it.
It doesn't soften with wet. It doesn't soften with wet, babe.
I'm not gonna do it.
Also, our money. Like you don't have to. Like it's just very also clear, right? What money it is, because if it's purple, it's a 5.
I mean, our 5s have purple.
It's a 10.
Our 5s have purple. No, like you say that, but our money is kind of color coded. Like the 10 is kind of orangey.
It's all green.
No, the 10 is like orange. It's orange. Yes. It's legit orange.
It all looks the same, especially on a dark night. It's dark. You're in a club.
The 5 is like purple, I think.
I am looking at pictures and they all look the same.
I don't know.
They all look the same, babe.
Whatever. I live here.
I know. You're more used to it.
It's my problem. I don't care.
I like my Monopoly money.
I mean, like, I wish it was prettier. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't.
I will say, though, there is a certain elegance to, like, the design of your notes. I will say that.
Where were we? Fuck the British, fuck the French, and
this isn't Montana.
This isn't Montana. I don't know what we're talking.
Which makes sense because it's England.
I don't know what we're talking about though.
I don't know.
Oh, one scene that was weird though was Dimitri like completely conspicuously checking Rose out at a school dance. I was like, okay.
Our Dimitri is more subtle.
I mean, you know.
Our Dimitri is more subtle.
Or is he? Because apparently Natalie like watched them for 5 seconds and was like, "Hey, Dad."
Yeah, well,
you could probably charm them and get them to fuck. I mean, so maybe it's like because it's from first person.
Because in the book, Rose doesn't explicitly state. Because Rose doesn't explicitly state to Natalie in the book where she does in the movie, saying, "I got a crush on Dimka." So.
Yeah, no, like, also, Rose, even throughout the entirety of book 2, has still not even told Lissa.
Yeah.
She's
Lissa doesn't. Lissa finds out when Dimitri's dead.
Yeah, so she doesn't tell any.
That's when Lissa finds out.
Yeah, so this Rose is just blabbing her ass off. Ours is just
more
zipped
stoic
up tight.
in that she's more stoic in that respect. Just in that respect, literally no others.
Yeah, well, she wants to tell Lissa, but
there's always something wrong with Lissa.
But there's always something wrong with Lissa, and then things go horribly wrong in the 3rd book, and there's just no opportunity to tell her.
Yeah, and then she. Because I think Lissa says something like, "I know you and Dimitri were close," and then Rose, like, that's when Rose has her full breakdown and just starts screaming at Lissa because Lissa's like, "I won't heal him. Like, even if we find him, I won't even try to heal him." And that's when Rose loses her shit, and that's when Lissa finds out from memory. Turns out that was a lie. Lissa absolutely will heal him. But I think she needs to be screamed at first and then lose her best friend for a year. Oh, actually, what was it, like 3 months, 4 months?
I forget.
It's months long.
I've decided I'm rereading the entire series, so.
Do it. I want to, especially after the movie. Because, like, after the series,
I'm about to reread the 3rd book. I'm going to lose this is not good for my mental. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself.
Because you know that it'll get you to Bloodlines.
But is it worth it? Like, rereading, not that it's good, not that it's not good, but rereading Vampire Academy.
It'll get you to Abe.
It's an event.
You're going to get Abe.
Yeah, this is not like rereading, like, Mercy, because I don't think a single Mercy book has made me cry.
No, because it's not really those. It's not really that breakdown scene in any of that.
Nothing bad happens to Mercy. Okay, sorry. Bad things happen.
Nothing devastating happens to Mercy.
Well,
devastating?
A rape is devastating, but like, you know.
No, you know exactly what I mean. Adam's alive, Jess is alive, Z's alive, Tad's alive, Warren's alive. Who's died?
Yeah.
Okay? Who's died?
Nobody. And I'm not afraid for any of them. And that's okay. I want it to stay that way.
Exactly.
I don't ever want to like be afraid that like Z's gonna die or something.
Yeah, like, okay, like, sure. And I feel like, and I really hope none of them die. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm 95% sure if one of them dies, it's going to be bad.
If Ben dies, I will lose my shit. I will lose. Like,
and then that same book, and then Mercy will find out she's pregnant, or she'll already know she's pregnant, and then she'll find out it's a boy, and they'll name the baby Ben.
I would lose my shit. If Ben died, it would.
They're gonna have baby Ben, and he's somehow
gonna
make
the book so much worse if Ben died. He's such a fun character. They can't kill him. They could kill Mary Jo. I wouldn't care about that, but like,
yeah, like okay, sorry. There actually have been a couple of deaths, but who was it? Like Paul,
like,
or whatever the hell his name was. Like
that doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly. Like no one important has died.
Peter,
yet, okay?
I mean, Honey's husband.
Oh, Peter. Peter dying was sad.
That was sad for Honey though, but like not for me.
Yeah, no, I was sad, but I think it was more because they instantly went into like grr mode as well. Like none of them like were just like, damn, and like just broke down.
But like that made sense though because they had to do an escape.
Yeah, they were busy. I get it.
Yeah,
but then the busy didn't allow time for us to sub.
Yeah.
Whereas, I think if she ends up killing one of like the main side cast, it would be Ben.
Or Stefan at this point.
But are you going to be sad?
Stefan's
like kind of... book one Stefan. If book one Stefan died, different story. But book now Stefan.
I love that you've lost count. It's book 13.
I almost said 13, but then I was like, or is it 12? I'm like, well, book now. But if book 13 Stefan died, you know what? I'd be like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like let him sleep. He's been through it. Has anybody been through more than Stefan at this point? I feel like whenever Patty needs a dog to kick, we kick Stefan.
Which is rude because she has so many dogs she can kick.
I'm sorry I used that analogy. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm actually still really upset though that Aiden isn't living with them anymore.
I am too. I was so mad.
I was looking forward to him.
I was like, so he's mad because also it was so weird too. Sorry, it was so weird too because last book 12, we had gotten to the point where like we had like adopted Aiden, and then this book we kicked him out, and I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, the reason why he's with Howell does make sense. It does make sense. However, you know what you do then? You move Howell and his wife into Mercy's old home.
Yeah, or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It just didn't feel like something Mercy or Adam would have wanted to do.
Or Jesse. Or Aiden.
Because they had all been like, you know.
We are family. Like, I got all my sisters with me.
Yeah, they were like, that's where I went. Yeah, they were like, yeah, this is our adopted son now. I was like, that's my son.
Like, they referred to them as him as part of their kids, like multiple times. It's like,
and then in book 13, it was like we just kids, and then it was like we just kind of forgot that Aiden existed.
Don't give me some throwaway bullshit. Like, it's best that he lives with Howell so he can control the TV scene. I'm like, well, Howell and his wife. Honestly, I can't even remember his wife's name, but they could live in Mercy's old place.
Lucia.
Every time I think of Howell, though, I just think Howell pronounced Howell. I actually have not seen that written yet. Like, how did she actually like specify the?
I know she says pronounced Howell in like the Spanish tradition is how she says it.
No, that's in I think one of the other books. The first book that is in, it's either it's Howell pronounced Howell.
I don't know because I've only ever listened to it. I have it there. I have Night Broken on my shelf, but I don't know what chapter it's in, so that's not helpful.
You know what? Oh, can we talk about what? Because I'm also going to find this. Hopefully, I don't get distracted from either thing. Can we talk? Because I think one of the reasons as well why I found this movie so cringe was the Strigoi and the fangs of the. But guess what though?
The Strigoi look like people. Yay!
The Strigoi and the Moroi fangs and everything, and how they bite is perfect now. It's perfect. I can't complain about any of it. And I'll tell you why. Because I've seen the monstrosity that is the series. Like, because also, like, did you notice as well in the series, right? Like, in the movie, right? Whenever, like, when Lissa goes to have a bite, right? She literally just goes and bites.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the series, there seems to be, like, some weird, like, camera angle from, like, here.
And they go.
And we get, you know, it was like a head dunk.
Well, and okay, but you know what though? I think that's a Julie Plec thing because you get some of that in the Vampire Diaries too.
Yeah, but not every time.
Yeah, no, not every time. But like, there were some times where like they would be attacking, and you would get like the head dunk. You would get like that.
Well, the head dunk can go fuck itself. What book is it again? Sorry,
Night Broken.
I will find it.
Okay.
I have to find it. I can't not. Okay, babe.
I know. I know the compulsion. I get it.
But the Strigoi, right? Like, okay, yes, because I do remember one of the things that annoyed me was their entire eyes were red in this.
Sure.
And I'm not gonna lie. That complaint set feels kind of stupid now. It feels like a kind of stupid complaint.
It does because. After watching them be zombies in the other movie, like Zombie Nightclub
zombies.
Bro, Zombie Nightclub Bro, completely like as long as they don't look like zombies, I'm good.
That was the stupidest freaking. Like the rest of it was awful, right? But just Nightclub Bro was literally the worst.
Nightclub Boy like made me want to cry. And now I don't know exactly how Strigoi are described in mythology. Or whatever.
I don't know. All I know is though that within this series, the Strigoi are the more Dracula-like vampires. Like they're more in line with Dracula than like a Dracula mythology than a lot of other vampire mythologies.
Not in this series, at least, because the Dracula mythology is completely different.
Oh no, I'm saying like that vibe where it's like they're alluring, they're charismatic, they're compelling, they're.
Yeah. Sorry.
They're the more romanticized evil.
Sorry for my capstone. I read Dracula the book, and that made me want to shoot myself. That was the worst.
I just meant the vibe, their vibe, not the rest of the mythology. Okay.
Actual Dracula lore. Can I talk about this for a second? Because I'm passionate about how much I hate it. Go for it. Actual Dracula, first of all, upsettingly unsexy. Upsettingly unsexy. Described as having hairy palms, really upsetting. Crawls up like walls like a lizard. He's a werewolf as well. He's the original hybrid Klaus. Get a room. Yeah. I don't know. Like go sit in the lawn. So I don't know. Like also described as like he feels like death and smells bad. So not alluring or charismatic at all. Just scary and gross and old and creepy. And just like ugly. Just horrid. And I was mad. Because like there's a lot of homoeroticism in Dracula, by the way, like a weird amount. And you know, you would think for that amount of homoeroticism, you would at least get sexy Dracula. Not a chance.
Rude. I've got no interest in reading it.
It's not worth it. Also, it is so long. How did he even do that? He only had typewriters. What the fuck? How did you type that many words on a typewriter without your fingers falling off? Okay, it should be illegal. Because, have you noticed that, like, older books are normally shorter because, like, it was harder to write a long book when you had to type it on a typewriter or something?
Yeah.
Not Bram Stoker. He was like, 14-hour audiobook, I got you. And I'm like, ugh.
When was that published?
1890 something. I'm sorry. There were a lot of dates that became more important than that one. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
1893.
So Also, I was wrong. I'm very sorry. Both the ones that include his pronunciation do have the Spanish pronunciation and Spanish tradition. However, it is pronounced it says Joel pronounced HOE-EL.
Okay. 1897. Damn it. Close.
What? Did he use a typewriter or did he like handwrite? Because back then as well, handwriting was still pretty.
I don't know. Here's the thing. My capstone was on Vlad the Impaler, not Bram Stoker. It like quickly shifted away from the vampire stuff. Because I had to focus, which is hard for me, as you can tell. So I pretty much had to I didn't really talk about Bram Stoker or Dracula in my Vlad the Impaler paper. So
yeah, this is really, really, really annoying. Oh, wait, no. It looks like he wrote it by hand because all the answers I'm looking at, like regarding what he did, like how he wrote it, it's coming up with like what his characters used. But okay, but I did find this. Did Bram Stoker use a typewriter? Although Stoker's characters practiced shorthand, used typewriters and a gramophone to record their diaries, the original manuscript of Dracula was written in Stoker's own hand. Essentially, Stoker advocated the use of technology for writing, but did not practice it himself. He wrote that bitch by hand, babe.
That's too much.
That's commitment.
I'll say this too. I did have to go through and read a bajillion of his notes before I figured out what the entire topic in the argument was going to be, and before I yeeted all of this. So this was for nothing. I read so many of his notes, his handwritten shitty notes. They were annotated and also transcribed in type, so I could read them. But
excellent.
It was a lot. Okay.
Because I imagine also the writing style back then as well wasn't particularly easy to read for us.
No, it's not. But also because the copies of his notes are at a museum, at the Rosenbach Museum. So you can't even look at them actually unless you go to the museum and you go to the archivist and you're like, hey, can I look at this? And then they'll give you clearance and stuff.
Yeah. I will say though, his writing still not the easiest to read by today's standards, but of writing that I have read from his general time period, very easy to read.
It's not, so his manuscript's probably not hard to read, but his notes where he's crossing shit out.
I'm just talking
he's writing. Okay.
And his letters.
But the stuff where he's writing sideways across the page and stuff like that, yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
Oh no, I can imagine that. I'm
glad that somebody transcribed it.
You know how a lot of writing from that general period is everything's slanted to almost that angle or something.
I mean, I write sideways, so yeah.
But his writing is almost it's actually they're actually letters.
Yeah. Sorry, my capstone was very fun. My favorite part of my capstone was reading Vlad the Impaler's letters. Hey, check, what's up? Was reading his letters because Vlad's letters are very sassy and they're hilarious. And they just made me happy. It was so dramatic. Not for no reason, but like for no reason. Just
he is Vlad the Impaler.
It just unbelievable. It just the drama. It was great. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I feel like that man lived for drama. I don't know what it is about him. I don't. Do you have any idea what would make one think that he was a dramatic man, babe?
I mean, it might have been all the, but like also though, here's the thing: he wasn't alone with his whole impalement thing or anything like that. I know, like that wasn't unique.
But how many people have the Impaler attached to their name?
Only him. But like, sorry, I could go. You know what? We need to get me off this because I could go on about this forever. Okay, I did do like 6 months of research on this specifically, and like it's a lot. I spent $150 on a book for it.
Movie babe.
Sorry.
Trying to get you off the topic. Yeah, look, I'm not going to be sitting there going, I really want to watch this movie again. But if I ever have to watch it again, I'm not going to like dread it.
Yeah.
Because, okay, like for example, have you seen Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle?
Yes.
It's the first one with the rock and everything. I haven't seen the second one. I should. That is not a good movie. It's not a good movie.
But it's a good movie.
But I enjoyed the shit out of it. So
yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
An enjoyable movie and a good one. And this was enjoyable.
Well, it's kind of like when I read romance novels, you know, are they good? No. But like I'm having fun, you know? And there's a difference.
Yep, give me 1 second.
You know, the bad stuff comes when like it's bad and also you're not having fun, I guess, which like, you know, really when you think about it, if something is bad, quote unquote, but also it's still entertaining you, which I guess is the point of a book or a movie, is it really bad? So is it a bad movie if we had fun? I guess not, technically, because the point is to be entertaining, and it was entertaining. So I don't know, maybe not a bad movie. All things told, when you're considering the point of movies. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like other things we missed. I honestly have no idea what we've been talking about. My brain is not working. But
I'm back. You know, I think we covered the one that I kept on wanting to talk about and then kept forgetting because we'll talk about something else when I thought of it was the appearance of the Strigoi in the Fangs.
Okay, yeah.
And we hit that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's like anything else, but I don't know if there's anything I have.
So. The queen behaved like a queen.
The queen scenes though were weird, like all of them.
Look, in the book, I'm pretty sure we only get the one scene, which was the first.
We only get the one scene.
And that was pretty on point.
Here's the thing: if I had it my way, I would have. Yeah, here's the thing: though, if I had it my way, I would have just extended this movie into a TV show.
And recast Dimitri with someone that doesn't look like Jack Black.
Or maybe just do his hair differently. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Look, I don't know what it is because again, like in those photos,
I'm just saying. Like, here's the thing. I don't. It's. I don't know. I feel like. I'm not saying the show. I'm not saying the movie was good. I'm just saying like it.
It would have made a better show than what the show is.
I think the quality of the movie would have been passable as a TV show, as a teen TV show. I think it would have been passable, especially in the era.
It had the same level of cheese of Vampire Diaries when you think about it. It had the same level of cheese.
Yeah. 100%.
And Vampire Diaries went on for seasons.
Oh, well, yeah, if you actually, like, here's the thing. I have the first episode of Vampire Diaries, like, memorized. I can quote most of it. And let me just tell you, Jeremy's lines, that first episode, are not okay. They should be illegal. he got paid to say you would have sex with a puppy, you know, like, and he said that out loud, and they like renewed it for like 90 seasons. So it's, you know,
it would have done well. Yeah, I just want to say, because I think part of the issues with the movie, from memory, I need to confirm before I say this out loud, though, or I will be embarrassed. No, let me just double check.
Also, there was a spinoff built in.
Okay, yeah, no, I would have been wrong. Because I did try to crowdfund Frostbite. But it failed. But okay, with this movie, to give, like, just to put it in black and white of how big of a failure this movie was. And I feel like the posters didn't help the matter because the posters look atrocious.
They do.
Every poster for this movie looks stupid. It had a $30 million budget, which obviously sounds like a lot to us, but for a movie, it's actually not that high. Mm-hmm. Especially one that has like vampire special effects and shit in it. It grossed $15.4 million worldwide. In the box office. So, yeah, it didn't even make back. It made back just over half its budget. And typically, like, for a movie to be considered a success, it needs to not only make back its budget, but usually double it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make back twice what was spent on it, it's generally considered a failure. And it made back half. So, it wasn't ever even released in the theater in Brazil and the UK. Apparently, they cancelled the theatrical release because of how well it was doing. You know what? Maybe the UK was what they needed because it was filmed there.
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe they just needed it. But yeah, there was the Indiegogo for Frostbite, but because they couldn't find investors for a sequel, which makes sense. Like, I wouldn't invest in it. And yeah, honestly, I feel like a lot of the fans of the series did not like the movie, and I think it probably was because the books weren't cheesy, whereas the movie was cheesy.
Yeah.
And that's actually probably a big part of why I didn't like it, but I appreciate the cheese now. And again, I feel like it's literally because of the series.
The series does make it more palatable, honestly. Like, no, Siri, not you.
I would have been curious to see what I thought of the movie had I watched it before the series.
Yeah. Well, I guess you do know. You know that you hated it a whole lot more.
I know it, but also there's also the factor of it's been 8 years since it came out.
Sure, and but I have to say, like, I found it a lot more palatable than the TV show because you at least saw like an actual good faith. It felt like a good faith attempt to adapt it.
Yeah, look, you can't deny that it was a good faith attempt. You know what? There is also another world of book series versus failed movie versus TV show, and the TV show I actually really enjoyed.
Shadowhunters, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Immortal Instruments, which is the series, and then the movie.
I was afraid you were going to say that because I haven't seen any of it.
Have you read any of the books?
I haven't.
That book world is insane, right? Because every new series she writes in trilogies.
Isn't that the one with incest?
Not actual incest.
Okay.
You know what? I don't care. I'm going to spoil it for you. If you don't mind. Do you want me to spoil or not spoil?
I don't care. I'll read it anyway.
Mistaken incest and then attempted actual incest. So the mistaken incest was incest that wasn't actually incest.
Okay.
and then attempted.
Like on purpose?
On one part, yes.
Interesting.
But with that though,
is that worse than age gap? I think it might be worse than an age gap. I don't know.
I don't know because
it's ickier.
I know, but the thing is though, you're shipping them before the incest secret comes out. They're shipping each other. You're shipping them. And it's kind of hard to take that back once, even with that bombshell. And then it turns out it's not actually true, so it's fine.
Is it?
But,
oh my god!
What is live? What is live? But okay, so this world.
You know what? Books, you know what?
This world of books is huge, though, babe.
I'm sorry, real quick. I miss 2010 so much. I'm sorry, okay, because now, can you imagine fake incest in a book nowadays?
Well, Game of Thrones happened. However,
that's different.
No one was shipping them, though.
Yeah, and it's like an adult. No, I mean like, no. In the sphere of YA, okay?
Honestly, I don't know if I could have imagined it back then until I read it. It's such a good series.
But the shit that used to come out, like,
yes,
in YA books, I'm sorry, they were so much. Because here's the thing, YA books now are spicier in that they're more explicit, but they were so much spicier back in the day.
Yeah.
Just like insane for no reason. And not like as in explicit, but just out of pocket. Like
siblings being in love with each other.
Yeah, out of pocket for no reason. And like the Ugly series and stuff like that, just out of pocket for no reason.
I need to reread that too, because I want to read the second one.
I don't want to reread that series. I'm sorry. I'm actually nixing that for book club because I don't want to read it.
Well, then I will do it on my own freaking time. But, okay. I'm also not going to be offended if you don't want to go down the Shadowhunter Chronicle world of things, right? Because there's the original trilogy, which is City of Bones, Ashes, and Glass.
Okay, how many do I have to read to do the movie and the TV show?
Probably, well, hear me out for a second. Okay, so the movie is based on City of Bones, which is the first book. Done.
Okay.
Right? From memory, the TV show also does City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire, which is the second trilogy in the Mortal Instruments series, right? However, you're going to get hella confused reading the second trilogy if you also don't read the Infernal Devices trilogy, which came out in between the two. So 9 books for the series.
9 books isn't a lot. I can do that.
They're not short.
2.5, whatever.
All right, let me that's all I've read. I haven't actually read any of the other, because then she's also got I've also read the Bane Chronicles. Those are fun. They're just like, it's just a bunch of short stories about Magnus
Are
Bane.
these okay, real quick though, is it in present tense?
No.
Okay.
Wait, let me just double check now. I'm pretty sure it's not. I don't recall it being present tense.
Because if it's 9 books in present tense,
oh god. Let me.
I will cry.
View.
Actually, if I read 9 books in present tense again for you, you have to come to my wedding.
Clary wondered what he was talking about. It's past tense. Okay. It's fine.
Never mind.
Okay.
You still have to. I would still like you to come to my wedding, but I guess no, it's not a legal requirement. I was like, if it's in present tense and I do this, I'm putting it in writing.
So then there's also the Bane Chronicles, which are fun. They're just like, I think it's like 9 short stories that are not very long at all. And then I haven't read any of these ones. I have them though. Or at least the ones that have been released, because some of them still haven't been released. Then there's the Dark Artificers, the Eldest Curses, the Last Hours, and the Wicked Powers. Each of those is trilogies. This world is huge, May. She just keeps adding more.
We'll do the 9. Fuck it. Let's just do it. What were we reading? We were reading something. Do we want to do that, or do we want to still do the Succubus ones? Do we know how does that end again? It just ends with like, do we care? How much do we care?
I did enjoy Succubus Blues.
I cared. I enjoyed, but like, how much do we care? Sorry. I could be caring less right now because I'm not on my drugs.
You know, and should we talk again when you are back on your drugs?
Maybe. And so I'm like, ooh, new shiny thing. I don't know. But I also do kind of like the little thing we've got going of like of actually like watching stuff.
Yeah, you know what? We will when we do this, we will do the movie before the series this time. And the series has multiple seasons. Let me see how many seasons the series has. But I imagine we'll probably also just do like 1 season at a time again, you reckon? 3 seasons.
Yeah.
55 episodes.
Yeah, we'll do 1 season at a time.
And you'll get to hang out with Christian Ozero as a blonde.
Yay.
The casting of the TV series is so much better than the movie. So much better than the movie.
Is the TV series still going, or have they ended it?
No, it was it ended years ago. It was only 3 seasons. But like I don't think it was cancelled. I think they wrapped it up.
Okay.
Because from memory they cover the entire and from memory, I can remember telling you this when I was watching it. They actually did a pretty good job at sticking relatively true to the books in a lot of ways. I think some orders of things were changed. And the guys that did this, I'm pretty sure, are the ones that were signed on for House of Night, but I don't know if that's still happening.
House of Night TV show. What's happening?
It's got an IMDb page. No, most recent thing is there's nothing. Since it was announced, there's fucking nothing. Oh, any references to the TV adaptation has been removed from the wiki. Because under adaptations, there was film adaptation where it said that it didn't happen. And then there was a TV adaptation paragraph, and that is no longer there. So, who knows? In some ways, I'm glad. And in other ways, I'm so disappointed. In other ways, I'm so disappointed.
I wanted to see it.
Let's have a look. Oh, no, actually, no, I really want to say, because it had on nerdbot.com, this article was published 2 years ago. But what changes are happening to the series, if any? Not much, actually. Some of the names may be changed. They mentioned that the twins would be called Monique and Misty instead of Shawnee and Erin. What the fuck? There may be some other name changes down the line, but PC said that all the changes were being made by her. The reasons for the name changes were not addressed, but since it's with all this blessings and she had full power, I would have loved a series where she had full creative control in the worst way. That one, I feel like that we would have had to do episode by episode because I don't think any of us could binge watch a season.
I want it so bad. Because here's the thing, actually. If any TV show could have benefited from, like, maybe a Julie Plec treatment, honestly, I would have been so interested in House of Night.
the showrunners for Shadowhunters were mentioned as the showrunners for House of Night.
Okay, that's interesting too.
I was like, well, that's a good series, but it also stuck, like I said, relatively close to the books.
So I just want to see a House of Night adaptation. I want to see it so bad.
Go buy a lottery ticket and go and win like all of the thing, and
I don't want to make it. I want to see, like, especially the PC.
You know what? Petition Elon Musk to fund this. He has the money.
I want to know what because on PC's website, it's still like we're getting a TV show. Is it just not happening? Is that what's going on?
Oh God. Okay. Special effects for the show. PC said that some of the things she's most excited for is that we will get to see her world come to life. Though this can be scary because sometimes it's not how you imagine. Kelowna with these massive black wings would probably be done in CGI, which makes sense. Of course, these wings are going to be CG. While other things like Zoe's tattoos would either be done by CG or practical makeup effects. I'm sorry, who was like, oh, let's do her tattoos as CG. Let's CG her tattoos on.
Why wouldn't you just do practical makeup effects?
Yeah. Why is it a either CG or practical makeup? Why is it not just... But yeah, PC cast would have full creative control. That would make it even... Just... I want this...
Well, down here there's like a Zoom Q&A thing.
Yeah, that's 2 years ago. Does PC just look so smugly arrogant in that phrase? Like she's literally looking down her nose at the camera. But there's nothing on the IMDb page. It just exists. There's nothing there.
They made a House of Night TikTok.
Fun! By fun, I mean I'd rather die. I'm going to go to her Twitter and see if... What is a... I'm sorry, what?
Okay, wait, there's a post on Facebook where it's like tag networks and share or something.
Excuse you? Apparently PC Cast was in the Air Force. Oh! You know what we haven't done either? We have not done Omen's Bar yet.
Oh, yeah, we haven't.
Okay, so what is your... Okay, so as of November... Okay, so I just typed in, search on Twitter, like her handle and show. Mm-hmm. And in November 23rd, so what? A couple weeks ago, someone is PC Cast author. Did I just hear we're getting a show of House of Night? Please say it's true. I've been waiting all my life. PC Cast, we're ready. We just need a network to pick us up. Tell your fave network you want Hon and follow the Hon cosplay crawl on TikTok. Well, babe, you know what you need to do.
Okay, then. So I guess they'd never had a network.
No, I'm guessing I'm guessing a production company obviously bought the rights, and now they've been trying to shop it around to networks for 2 years. And I think part of that, actually like 3 years now, I think it got picked up for that either 2019 or early 2020. Now, part of that can be explained by COVID. Production of shows and stuff wasn't really happening during that period. But now things are getting filmed now. I don't think a network wants to touch it with a 10-foot pole. And I get it.
I mean, it's not really the type of show that's like super popular these days.
If only YouTube was still doing scripted stuff, because that's what Vampire Academy was originally meant to be for. It was getting developed for YouTube. For YouTube Premium.
The show was?
Yes. But then YouTube
moved. Makes sense.
And then that YouTube moved to just unscripted premium content.
That makes.
And so they had to find another thing, and so it went to Peacock.
That makes so much more sense. Oh my god. Sorry. It's so insulting, but
you know what? And unfortunately, I don't think they haven't renewed Vampire Academy, right? And it was getting released weekly. Like, the episodes were getting released weekly. It wasn't a seasoned up. How often do they renew shows before the season is not finished yet? Pretty often.
Yeah.
It's been out for a while now, Bay. It's been out for a while now. They have not announced a renewal.
Yeah.
So Peacock, I don't think you're going to want to take the plunge and on this, and I feel like other ones would look at Vampire Academy's performance and go, well, House of Night is a vampire series of the same era and it didn't do well.
That, and also it's got kind of the same vibe, really. Like, it's a vampire school.
How dare you?
I'm speaking from the perspective of, like, an HBO Max, right? It's a school with vampires that also, like, okay, so for example, like the Vampire Diaries vampires, actually do vampy things. Yeah. House of Night vampires don't even have fangs, okay? Like, I don't think they have fangs.
They're never. So I think they have to do a slitty slit.
Yeah, they don't have fangs. So, like, and here's the thing too. Even like Vampire Academy vampires, it's not the same vampy vibe as like the Vampire Diaries, right? Like, that's very American vampire type thing. And
Vampire Academy is more European in vibe. The structure of society is European.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's also like kind of removed from, in a way, kind of removed from the vampiness of it all. And like the spooky Halloween-y vibes or whatever. And
it's an insular society, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's not like, and it's kind of the same way with House of Night, where we're kind of removed from the spoopy aspect and like Halloween monster,
and even more so because everyone knows that vampires are a thing.
Yeah, and there's like nothing but vampires except bulls we can fuck, and Mummy, I want to fuck a bird. and some very fuckable avians.
And that's the thing as well. Like, I mean,
two fuckable avians actually. Sorry.
But also, like, can you imagine pitching this to a network, right? And then they're like, we need to read the source material. Like,
actually,
they hire an intern,
you know,
they hire an intern to read the source material, and the intern's like, this is the shittest series I've ever read. What the fuck?
No.
They let this bitch have creative control, and then they get to the bestiality.
No, if I was going to pitch it, though, you know, I would actually start with the fuckable avians. That's where I would start. For a TV network, I would totally start with fuckable avians. I feel like questionable fuckable things is all the rage right now.
Bull dick. Making out with a beak longer than your arm.
After Game of Thrones? Yeah. After Game of Thrones and Mason butt, yes. It's not a leap.
You're comparing Mason butt to Mummy I Want to Fuck a Bird?
Yes. And Game of Thrones. I threw Game of Thrones in there. There was like graphic rape, dick cutting off, and incest. Compared to that, bird fucking is like
bestiality. I don't recall bestiality.
I mean,
or
like
implied bestiality.
Sure, but
makes sense. However,
you're right. But I feel like vibe-wise, we are lower on the scale than like Game of Thrones.
His beak is longer than her arm, and she's making out with him. Her tongue is.
I know, but it's consensual.
Like that's his beak, right? That's his beak.
But it's consensual, so I feel like on the yikes scale.
What kind of tongue would a raven mocker have? Because like, part of me wonders. Like, I know he's.
Do you want me to send the link to Addie?
Is she available?
If she has an opinion.
Sure. I will ask my opinion on his tongue then. If we find it until after.
Let me see.
What does a raven tongue look like? Well, that's horrifying.
I said, art thou available? We need your opinion on raven tongue. If anything gets around here, that question will.
Oh God, I regret.
She's available.
I regret. Excellent, bring her on here.
Sorry, okay, I've like scooted so much.
Oh, that's terrible news. At least it's a weekday. Oh, her last message. At least it's a weekday.
We love it when we can have diverse opinions on raven tongues.
Well, there's three options that I want to question as to what the raven mocker tongue would be like. We've gone so far off.
It doesn't matter.
We do have to end this show by concluding whether or not the movie was better than the show. That's obviously we know the answer.
We need to get like an Emily Swoop thing.
Yeah, also, sorry, really quickly before there was something else as well. The outdoor training in the movie. That's how you're gonna do an outdoor training.
Oh, yeah, the training complex. It was wild.
But that's how you do it, not the show. Oh my God.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
We have a question.
Okay, sorry. There's an Adderall shortage, and I'm out. I've been out for like days. So I apologize for my behavior. Okay. We were supposed to be talking about something else, but we got on to House of Night because we were talking about TV shows, and the House of Night TV show doesn't have a network. So we were talking about how you would pitch the network. And I said that I would start with fuckable avians because in comparison to questionable fuckability, given that like Game of Thrones gave us incest and a whole bunch of like rape and dick cutting off, and then also in like the last TV show we watched, there was like a lot of questionable guy butt.
And also dead raising ravens from the dead mid-coitus.
Yeah, mid-coitus. I was like, honestly, consensually fuckable avians seems like
an easy enough sell.
It seems like the sell. It seems like the way to go.
However,
well, Game of Thrones this year did make incest shippable. So,
however, then I just said, okay, so Ravain's beak is long, right? It's like the length of an arm, right?
Yes, I'm Googling him again.
And she literally sticks a tongue down his throat
as a bird. Yes. Yep.
So then I did this. Like these are his beaks, and it's like, ugh. But then
you wouldn't be able to get your tongue in. Okay, that's beside the point.
But then that had then raised the question: have you seen what a raven's tongue looks like?
No.
Because I just Googled it, and I wish I didn't, because it looks weird. So the question is, because you know how he's got like the eyes of a man and the hands of a man on the end of his wings or whatever it is? Yeah. Or does he have an extra set of arms? I'm pretty sure the hands are at the ends of the wings.
Listen, we're not reading it for like another, 2 years? I don't remember.
Yeah. So the question is, though, does he have a raven tongue? Does he have a human tongue? Or is his tongue a little something special because he's a special bird? Where it's like a lorikeet tongue. Have you seen a lorikeet tongue?
I have.
Yeah. So is it raven? Is it man or is it lorikeet?
Tongue.
And which is the grossest option? Which is the
raven tongues option? Are really gross.
Yes. But a human tongue in a raven's beak.
I mean, I think that would be better.
Oh, that's nasty. Okay, you know what though? Here's the thing. If they make this show, I need them to go hard on that scene, and I need
something like HBO needs to pick it up because we can't have this half-assed CW stuff.
However,
CW is perfect,
the only so the reason why I'm going lorikeet tongue as an option is I feel like a lorikeet style tongue is the only way for them to be able to make out with him having a beak.
No. It goes horde, okay? Because
how do you spell this animal that you were saying?
LORIKEET.
Okay. Yep, tongue was one of the top things. Okay. Yeah,
like they stick out really far.
Ew, but what's on the end of it? Why is it?
Oh, it's little things because they use that to suck nectar out of stuff.
Ew.
No. Okay, this might sound gross. This might sound gross. It probably is gross. I don't know, but we used to have a rainbow lorikeet, right? When I was younger, and he'd chill out on our shoulders, and then he'd stick his tongue in our ears. It was the weirdest fucking feeling on the planet. Not in a good way, but it wasn't like it didn't feel awful, but it didn't feel good. If that makes sense, it's just kind of like.
Then maybe that's the most realistic option.
Yeah, I feel like the lorikeet tongue is the only way you could effectively make out with, like, you can French kiss a bird.
Here's the thing. I, for one, am excited to find out how they portray French kissing a bird.
This is so funny. I was talking to one of my students about House of Night today because she was like, I like the style. Because, I have the hardbacks. I have the hardback visual journals in my classroom. And she was looking at them and she was like, I like how these books are designed. And I was like, good, they're trash. I was like, you want a visual journal? But she's 16?
She might enjoy it.
That's
that's unfortunate.
She found you know how we wrote notes in it back and forth to each other? She found them and she was like, what is this? And I was like, you don't want to know. This was 13 years ago. You don't want to know. Yeah.
Ma'am, you're a teacher. You can't be having notes in your books.
Well, they don't say anything bad. It says best book ever. OMG, Stark and Zoe.
No!
It does.
I'll send you a picture tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Also, here's the thing: if anybody's ever found our notes from class, because here was our genius.
We can't even decipher them.
We can't even decipher them because the way that we used to fold the paper, we used to fold the paper in a very specific way so that if you unfolded it, you would not be able to actually follow the conversation.
And your folding methods have been forgotten?
Yeah.
Yep. Probably we could figure it out, but it's indecipherable. So, and we did that so that if any teacher ever grabbed it, and we used code words and stuff.
Yes, I was going to say we use code to the point where we'll read something now and we'll be like,
we have no idea what we're talking about.
There was actually something that just reminded me of something that happened in Castle, the TV show. Her mum, before her mum died, was a lawyer, and she'd write all of her notes in her own invented shorthand. So then that way, if another lawyer ever subpoenaed her notes, they'd be no good.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's actually handy.
We did that.
If I was ever working in a thing where I was at risk of being subpoenaed for something, I'd write all of my notes in my own invented shorthand.
Yeah, we did that specifically so that if a teacher ever was like,
show me,
they would unravel it, and it would just be gibberish. And it would just be like, did you talk to Milk about the duds? And they would be like, and then the next line would be like, I went home yesterday, and it's just gibberish.
Chaos.
It's absolute chaos. You can tell who wrote what, but you can't tell what's going on.
Yeah.
We so you might be able to tell from the title of the thing. We just watched the Vampire Academy movie.
Yes.
And I hated it when I first watched it. I enjoyed the fuck out of it this time.
In a hate watch way or in a genuine way?
I like I said today, I don't know if it was because the TV series was so bad.
You know how bad romance
it was so bad, Addie.
You know how bad romance novels are good?
Yeah.
But you're not hate reading them?
Yeah.
It's like that.
But they're not good. Yeah, they're not good, but they're thoroughly enjoyable.
But you're genuinely enjoying it?
Yeah.
It was like that. You're like this is terrible and I hate and it's awful.
But I'm in love.
But you're like, but I have the warm fuzzies. It's like
so it's Ice Planet Barbarians.
Yes. We should do that for book club.
We should do this.
I don't know what that is.
Yes, we should do Ice Planet. We have to do Ice Planet Barbarians for book club. Just one. I beg
just
of
the first one. No,
just
not
the first one.
Not all 14.
Well, because all 14 are the same.
It's literally the same thing, except I think there's more now. Hang on. Ice Planet Barbarians.
I mean, these are the kind of books that this is why being a romance author is probably a good idea, because you can just barf up the same stuff over and over and over again.
But yeah, the series was excellent. Finally, it's out. It came out today.
20, 21.
Sorry, I was just checking
to see if 20 of them.
24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30,
no.
31. There's 31 Ice Planet Barbarians.
That's too many.
I only read half of them, I think.
Oh my freaking god. Sorry. So
we do the first one.
Yeah, we do the first one.
Sure.
Please.
However,
glorious.
However, I'm going to present my screen for a second because I just checked to see if Stella the Starlight Dragon was out yet. It's a series that I stupidly bought for my daughter. Every book is the same. And I'm on the 8th book. And you know how, I've just read the exact same poorly plotted book 7.5 times now. And the 9th and final one just came out today. I'm going to share my screen for a second. Okay, so this is the first one.
Okay.
And this is Asmina the Gold Glitter Dragon, and it's the Glitter Dragons trilogy.
Yeah.
So there's 3 trilogies. There's the Glitter Dragons, the Treasure Dragons, and the Night Dragons. The Night Dragons is the last one. And in each one, they're just a normal girl, and then they hear Magic Forest, come explore, Magic Forest, hear my roar, and they get transported to the Magic Forest, and they become whatever dragon they are. Cool. And each book centers on one of the 3 of each dragons, right? So this one centers on Asmina, the Gold Glitter Dragon. And she meets her little animal friend. So this one is Buttercup, because it's a little lion cub with butterfly wings. So it's Buttercup. I can't remember this one's name. Dash or something. Dasher Girl. It's a little flying elk thing. This one's Bat Cat. It's a little Bat Cat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new one that just came out. And I can only assume that it's a unicorn star.
Staricorn.
Staricorn.
Well, I was thinking it was going to be Unistar.
Yeah, either one.
Yeah.
And I'm not okay because now I know that it's going to be coming out. Like, I have to go buy it now. Might give it to her for a birthday next week, but it came out today. And
yeah,
if and when you guys have daughters and you see this series, you're like, wow, girls are turning into dragons. That sounds like it would be a lot of fun for like a kid to read. Yeah, she loves it. It is the worst freaking thing I've ever read.
Worse than House of Night?
Yes. And I have more questions, right? Because these guys, right, they help out on the quests. They help. Mm-hmm. They actively help. And yet the other two dragons never interact with them. And they never go into the magic glade where evil things can't enter. And every single time, like, they're about to do something, they're like, okay, well, I've come and said hi, and now I must leave. And I'm like, obviously, I don't think that this is the case because it's a kid's book, but I'm pretty sure they're all evil. And they're plotting against the dragon girls in some way.
Good.
Or they're figments of their imagination. Because, again, the others never interact with them. Ever. They never even look at them. Like, the covers are pretty.
They are pretty. Yeah. I was just thinking that they're really cute.
Yeah, I like the covers. They're cute.
But the first 6 books, they are trying to stop the Shadow Queen and her shadow sprites from turning the magic forest shadowy. And this last one, it's the Fire Queen, and she has her fire sparks, and I don't know what they're doing. The first one, they tried to stop night from falling by making perpetual twilight by bursting all the daydream bubbles. And if the daydream bubbles don't get collected and scattered, night can't fall. Yeah. That
makes so much sense.
Yeah. And then this second one, the moon is hot and now the animals can't sleep. That's all I know so far. And then this one, obviously, I don't know. Something to do with the stars, I imagine, because it's the Starlight
drop
Dragon.
today.
Honestly, I don't know why adult books don't lead into that more. Like, the moon is hot and the animals can't sleep. We have to do something.
We need to do something about this. Yeah.
I think honestly, it would be fun if adult books went into like that whimsy a little bit more. Like,
but yeah, no. So this is the one we're reading now. So I've done 2 chapters of it last night, and so it's Phoebe the Moonlight Dragon, and as you can see, the moon is red, and now it's too hot for the animals to sleep, and I'm guessing they have to find a way to cool the moon down. I don't know. I don't actually know yet because I'm not up to that point. Because it takes 2.5 chapters for them to talk to the Tree Queen. There's 10 chapters in each book. Every book, it takes 2.5 chapters to get to the Tree Queen, for the Tree Queen to tell them what they have to do. And I don't know why. Because the first chapter is, like, every single time, the first chapter is before they go back to the Magic Forest and they start hearing this magical whispering, Magic Forest, come explore. And every single time, even though this is the 3rd time they're going there, they're like, oh, what is that sound? I wonder what that could be.
Yeah, as if they don't know wholeheartedly.
I'm like, you were there last week. It's okay. Go. And then they have to exposit every time. And they're like, and then when they go to the Magic Forest, I become a dragon girl. Well, sorry. It's limited 3rd person. So Phoebe becomes a dragon girl, but not just any dragon girl, a night dragon girl.
We are dragon girls. Hear us roar. I just Googled it. And that's what it has it on the sidebar. Yeah. Oh my gosh, 4 of them came out last year.
I don't think these are very long books.
No, they're not.
Like, they use the same structure.
Yeah,
the last
copy
book,
paste.
The last book came out in October. And then
and
this one came out today.
And oh no, one of the characters
it's written by
Naomi. 2. We can't have
yes. Yeah, there's oh wait. Dragon. Not Gragon.
Dragon.
There we go. Dragon Girls. And so it's co-written by 2 women. I can't remember their names, but their combined pen name is after their daughters or something.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, so there's Asmina the Gold Glitter Dragon, Willa the Silver Glitter Dragon, and Naomi the Rainbow Glitter Dragon. And then we have May, the Ruby Treasure Dragon. Now, this one I had many an argument with my daughter because I read that as Aisha and she reads it as Aisha, and I looked it up and apparently both are correct. So,
are there audiobooks?
No. Thank Christ.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, so then there's Aisha, the Sapphire Treasure Dragon, and Quinn, the Jade Treasure Dragon.
Oh my gosh, that little owl. Oh my gosh,
so
little wolf.
I'm going to see if I can remember. I'm going to see if I remember their name. So that's Buttercup. That's Delphina. Oh, God. What's this one's name? Unichick. Squeaklet. Plushy Pup. And Plushy Pup has a little sister named Trusty Pup.
Oh.
I cannot remember this one's name for the life of me.
Well, that looks like a peacock.
It's an owl thing. I just can't remember what it is. Now I need to know. I'll be back in a second.
God. I'm gonna go get the book.
Oh my God. I'm sorry for disturbing you. I was just like, she should be back from work, so hopefully she can help us with the beak thing.
Yeah. No, but no. It is almost my bedtime, but it's okay.
Yeah.
No, I do not mind.
I am at the same time like hyper and just like about to fall asleep.
It's fun. It's fun.
That I am sad that we're not getting a House of Night, but like show anytime soon. I want it.
Yeah, like
I want to know.
This, like part of this, the pilot script or something is done, right? Like something is.
They just need they're like, we just need a network, and I'm like,
it's Flutterdash, by the way.
Flutterdash.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can't. But yeah, no, and then yeah, we've got Batcat and Dasher Girl. I don't know what the new one's name is though. Obviously, because I haven't read it yet. I'm gonna guess Unistar. Would you guys like to take bets, and I will let you know what the star?
I'm going Starcorn.
Oh, Unistar.
I'm gonna be so disappointed if it's none of them.
Yeah, that would be sad.
Like
I can't wait.
Pointy Horn?
Pointy Horn.
I can't wait, guys. I have
Horny Star.
9 more nights of reading this series to go because we read 2 chapters a night.
Oh, do you like read it to her when she goes to sleep? It's like bedtime stories. Yeah.
Yeah. We read 2 chapters a night.
Yeah.
And I dread bedtime every night. Every night. Especially because I've been sick lately. And she gets mad if I don't do the animal voices differently and stuff like that. I'm like, But, oh well. Don't. Save yourself. Don't it? If
only give the kids books with audiobooks.
Just there's better quality kids books than these. I swear there has to be.
There has to be somewhere.
I can't wait to the next series I'm going to read with her is Friday Barnes, which is I think she's like an 11 or 12-year-old girl who is like gifted. And she goes to boarding school and she solves crimes like who stole the homework and stuff like that. She's like a boarding school detective.
That's adorable.
That's cute.
I will say though, I did feel Rosie the Twilight Dragon so hard. She's ADHD as fuck. And I appreciated that.
You know, sorry. I was reading a book where a bunch of characters can read like human minds or something. And I was like, I wonder if ADHD would actually be like a natural mind reading like block. Just there's so much going on in there, you can't decipher it. Too many tabs.
If you ever get around to watching Buffy, you'll get to explore what mind reading is like for one episode.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I'm just saying,
it's actually that episode is actually a brilliant episode.
It's not like the books explore it pretty good, but like I'm just wondering, like if somebody tried to read my mind, I'm pretty sure they would just have an aneurysm.
Like Pinkie Pie's brain.
That's how I like to describe it. Like, if anybody wants to know,
that made me laugh so hard when that happened. The Sunset Shimmer's reaction. She just looks so traumatized.
I was like, that's what my brain is like.
But yeah, no, like so. Rosie at the beginning of Twilight Dragons, I can't remember. She's left the room. She's having a sleepover with the other 2, And she comes back in, and they're like, "Are you?" I can't remember how they realized, but she realized she had left to go to the bathroom, and got distracted on the way to the bathroom, and forgot. So then she has to go again.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm like, you know what?
In fact, I do that all the time.
Yeah, I did appreciate that because that's also my daughter to a T. Because I am so apologetic to my mother, especially since she has started school. Because I know that she's putting me through what I put my mother through. Except my mother couldn't relate, so it was even worse for her. But trying to get her dressed for school every morning is such a nightmare. Because I'll go into her room. And I'm like, come here so I can do your hair. And she'll start walking over to me. And she's like 5 steps away. And she gets distracted on the way over to me. And then she starts to go off in another direction. And I'm like, can you please come back and stand still?
I must get you to school, please.
It's not fun. It's so hard. But it's funny though. It's funny when I have time for it to be funny.
Yeah, but when you don't have time for it to be funny, it's like, dude.
And because I have the same problems, I rarely have time for it to be funny.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, at least though. I was talking to Noah about that. I was like, because we both have it, so the likelihood that our kid's gonna have it is about 100%. Mm-hmm. So
it's not 100 because I'm like,
I know it's not 100, but like
it's very likely.
It's high.
Because I'm pretty sure our son doesn't have it.
Yeah.
But daughter definitely does.
But like it's high because Noah has like pretty mild. I'm a mess.
That sounds like my relationship.
And so I'm like, yeah, but at least we know.
It's funny because she'll start to ask me a question, but it's the same question she asked me 5 minutes ago. So I'll answer it.
I do that too.
Before she's half done. And then she glitches. And she just stares at me for a second. And then she stutters for like a few words. And then she keeps finishing the question. And I'm like, I've already answered. Like, and she won't walk while she's doing it. So like, we're trying to get out the door and she's asking me a question. And she's just standing there. I'm like, and she's glitched. And I'm like, come. And then she gets mad because she hasn't finished asking a question. I'm like, are you asking me this? And then she's like, no. I'm like, well, what? And then she asked me the exact same question I just told her she was asking me. And I'm like, for the 15th time, yes or no, or...
Well, I imagine, like, child ADHD is a little bit different because you also have the element of, like, developing brain as well.
Yeah, and then she also hyperfixates, and when she hyperfixates, it's impossible.
Because I don't remember what being a kid was like. I don't really remember what my symptoms were like, but as a kid, honestly, and I don't know that if I asked my parents, they would be able to accurately tell me either, but I imagine it's a lot more chaotic. Whereas, like, as an adult, my symptoms are like much more predictable. Like, I know what's going to happen if I don't take my meds.
Yeah.
Like, I wrote for an hour. I did like 7 loads of laundry. And then, and then we got to Raven Mocker Tongue. And then I was like, Addie should know. And then, I don't know.
So what was the consensus on what his tongue is like?
I think the
lorikeet.
Yeah.
We were like, that's the worst. Let's do that.
Because I'm pretty sure there's references to like them licking stuff or whatever, like licking up blood and stuff.
Well, now
I don't think a raven's tongue.
We will reread it. Don't reread it early, because we need.
When is it? 2024.
Yeah, don't reread it early. Oh yeah, that's right. You're going to be pregnant, so don't reread it early.
Hopefully in labor.
That'd be very funny.
She like spitefully wants you to be in labor.
Yes,
I want to be in labor while we do House of Night.
Right, but like she for bad reasons.
As soon as one of us gets pregnant, that's when we start reading House of Night.
Because we have it in the calendar.
Yeah,
we
but
have
like
it in the calendar, but like you know, it's fine.
What happens if it happens sooner?
Well, don't let it. You're in complete control of that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You have in your calendar how to time your birth, okay?
Look, accidental pregnancies never happen. Ever. And not on birth control. Not twice. In a year and a half.
But
yeah, no. Hormonal birth control for both of mine.
Really?
NuvaRing for number 1, and in its defense, number 2 was the mini pill, and I don't think I took it at the exact same time every day.
Mm-hmm.
And like with the normal pill, like you got a bit of flexibility. If you take it an hour later than when you're supposed to, it's fine. Mini pill, no, you need to take them on the dot, same time every day. And if you mess it up once, it takes 30 days for it to be effective again.
Oof.
What's the mini pill?
So it only has one of the hormones instead of 2 because I was breastfeeding.
And so it only has like progesterone in it instead of estrogen? Okay.
Yeah, I think the estrogen dries up your milk. So,
the more you know.
But also, it was like this, but also, exclusively breastfeeding can also sometimes have an effect of reducing the risk of ovulation. So there's also that. So it's the two kind of balance. But I did the wrong thing. Okay, I messed up. But the first one was not my fault. I was on the NuvaRing. I popped it in. It was supposed to do its job. It didn't.
It's okay.
It's okay though.
What are we doing next, Faye? Or everybody? What are we doing next? I'm so confused.
Well, we still need to watch a Fallen movie.
Yeah, we still have to watch Fallen.
Maybe we won't do that together. Maybe we'll do it how we do. Because I don't know if I can get this thing to work.
Oh, that's fine. We can just watch it separately.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys need it, let me know. And then I guess the next on the trio calendar is finishing that series.
Oh jeez. Oh, it's been so long.
Done the first one. We've only done the first one.
Oh God! Wait, what even happened?
The movie should tell you.
That's right. That's right. The movie should fix that for me.
Yeah, and then how many books are in that?
Like 30.
3, 4, 5. Where's Goodreads? Goodreads.
Give me just hush for a second. Lauren Kate. There we go. So there's Fallen, Torment. So we've got Torment, Passion, Fallen in Love, Rapture, and then Unforgiven.
There's also a novella in there, though.
Yeah, that's Fallen in Love.
Okay.
It's fine.
How did she start it to that many books?
I can't remember what happens in each one. I know that one of them's time traveling.
Oh, great.
Well, they go back through all of her past lives, okay?
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't done this since I literally started work. Because I remember it was orientation week and I was listening to this while I was setting up my classroom.
That's right. It's been a while. We're in December. 'Tis the season now.
Yep.
So so we will have to do that at some point, and then babe, we need to choose whether or not we're going to do Succubus, like continue Succubus, or the other thing.
Yeah, ask me when I have drugs.
Okay, well, maybe would we be able to schedule in a movie at some point? Because I feel like that doesn't take up too much time. Like, how long's a movie? Like an hour and a half?
Well, yeah, you know what? We can do Succubus. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll let you know like tomorrow. I'll think about it.
Yeah.
I can't make decisions right now. I'm not rational.
Okay. That's okay.
Today's not the day.
I don't know when, because I've got a busy weekend, because Sunday is daughter's birthday party, so Saturday is setting up for that, because the kids will be because also I'm single parenting at the moment until the 21st of December. Yeah, he does FIFO work now, so he goes away for 3 weeks at a time. But this swing's a little bit longer.
I'm sorry.
The money's decent. Which is literally the only reason he's doing it. Like, if the money wasn't decent. But, it's fun doing everything by yourself. That's why I don't ever get a break from Dragon Girls every night as well. Because we used to alternate which child we would put to bed. And now I do both every night. And then her birthday is actually on Tuesday, so I wouldn't be able to do it next Monday night because I need to set up her surprise, because she's got a 4-poster bed with like a metal frame, and it's got sheet curtains hanging down, and I hate them. Okay, they looked cute for a bit, and now they're just a pain in the ass. They get in the way. It's a pain. So I bought. Oh, I don't want to open this yet. This is full of vines, like ivy leaves.
Cute.
Oh, okay.
And then, do you know how cheap expensive fake flower heads are?
Yes.
Yeah. So we've gone with daisies because there's like 100 in each, and these were like only $8 per packet. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess she's having daisies. And then this shows you how thin this is as well. This is 65 feet of fairy lights.
Oh, cool.
That's going to be so cute, though.
That's going to be so cute. You'll have to send us pictures.
I'm going to wrap that all around the pole. So that's what I'll be doing next Tuesday. So I can't do Monday night next week.
That's fine. Sorry.
But we'll work out a day where we can do a movie at least, because I feel like that won't be
movie is so easier because it doesn't.
That's not a big time commitment. It takes an hour and a half to watch the movie, and then just the chitty chat about it.
Yeah.
But
anyway, well, let's get Addie to bed because I know she's got work in the morning. We'll figure it out.
We'll work it out. But to answer the question of the title of the stream, yes.
Yes, it was better. I think we answered that.
100%. I have not seen anything. I don't think I even have read the book since I was like 13. But
reread the books at the very least. Whenever you have time, just reread them. They're so good. And I doubt you've read Bloodlines, and you need to read Bloodlines. So just reread them. It's YA that doesn't make you want to off yourself. It's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.